Of course, I could always just go play another game, which I think I will. So let's see, is that you, Yuan? Yeah, let's play a game. That'll be interesting. Yuan, you is a much more interesting player. Welcome to the stream. Okay, d4, d5, and the fianchetto. So this is like Chess Explains Keep It Simple repertoire, isn't it? Oh, he's setting up a Catalan-like formation over here. It's okay for white, but I don't think it gives white much of an edge. There are better ways to play, I think. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure where he's placing his other pieces, so let's wait and see. Guess the knight's coming here, then I can play a6. You want to keep it out of the b5 square so that the knight, or so my bishop is safe there. Let's see. Oh, opening up the center. There we go. That's the way to play it. Okay, looking good. It's got an active rook. It's got the diagonal. I think, though, maybe I'll put a bishop on the diagonal to oppose his bishop. And it looks like he wants to trade off my dark squared bishop. I guess I have to. I don't know if I had to allow that, but I did. I did want to somehow. Okay, I'll take. I'll bite. What's the idea there? Not so easy to defend the pawn. He can bring the rook back. He can defend with the queen. And he does. Okay. So pile up on his d-pawn. Bring my knight to c4 maybe. Well, first let's bring the rook. First we'll bring the rook in. Then we'll look at this knight. Does the knight want to go to c4 or to b4 and then here? So if I go to b4 or c4, actually I'm opening up this diagonal, so I have to be careful. There's no tempo moves with his knight. Along, because I have a loose bishop here on b7. I guess I like, for now I like knight to knight to d5. It piles up on this f-pawn, the isolated f-pawn. And if he wants to save the a-pawn, I don't know if I'm really going to take it, but he might want to save it. So I can get there with tempo. So that makes sense. And now, once again, how to defend that f-pawn. With the rook, yeah. So now I have a tempo move with my knight. Can I do anything good? Or maybe I just play, well, it's kind of a weakening move, but I could play f5. I probably should. I probably should just grab that pawn. I didn't see any good tempo moves with the knight. It created a weakness here, but he's got a weakness here. Oh. Good one, Yuan. I totally missed that. Let's see. Can I take his knight? No. You're winning the exchange, am I not? Apparently not. Knight c3. Is that the way to do it? Instead of the f-pawn, play knight c3. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a double attack. It's a fork. Yep, back to the game. Okay, what to do here? I guess this is a sleepy New Year's stream. We'll see if I can get something going here on the diagonal. He could play something like knight to h, knight h4. Oh, he's going pawn h4. Makes sense. Yeah, anyway, you're quite right, bone atrophy. Should get out and exercise more, right? So I'm losing here, but I'm just trying to stir up trouble. Maybe something will happen. There's no clever tactic there, huh? It's hard to get away from that rook, too. Yeah, I think Ioana's got me this time. There. Yeah, so he's looking at this guy. Okay, pause to defend. I can take the knight off and grab this pawn. Ah, you can take, yeah, either way. Take the knight off and grab a pawn. Gets my queen near his king. Maybe something good will happen. Who knows? Who knows? Rook to the c-file. Ah, piling up on my b pawn. G pawn. Blocking with the queen. Let's activate the other rook. Okay, outnumber him with pawns on this side of the board. See if I can do something with that. Aha, so I can kick the bishop. I can throw in this check. Get behind the pawn here. He's got this dangerous passed pawn. That's the most critical thing here, so he defends it. Now his bishop is limited, but it can go to here, here, or here, here, or here, I guess. Still, gotta push those pawns. Yeah, okay, so come with the threat. This king is short on squares, but I can't quite... he does that. Yeah, that's good. That is good too. So check, check. I can drive his king to the H file here, it looks like. Yeah. Now let's defend here for a moment. There. Oh, that's good. Let's try and get a passed pawn. There, okay. It's getting tricky. He should still be better here, I guess. But he's got to find the moves. Ah. Well, what to do here? So, if I take... Oh, I take with check. And I still have this passed pawn here. How to do this? I guess I can't. Well, I check, he'll take with the king. I lost on time. Anyway, good game, Yuan. He deserved that. I blundered. And he punished me, and then I was just struggling after the end. Yeah, thanks for the game. Yeah, let's get another one. All right, chess kudos. We're going to get a Nimzo? Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Nimzo Indian, Rubinstein variation. Oh, that's the way I play it with c5. They say you're supposed to take. I mean, I play that from the black side. I don't play it from the white side. I don't see that so often from the white side. So is this one of those lines where you can just sack a pawn? I'm not sure. Guess I have to defend. I'm going to have tripled pawns. What a monster. Tripled pawns. Okay, well, let's develop. I guess he's going to go here and hit my bishop if I go to d3, which seems like the natural square. Oh, he lets me save one of my pawns. You know, if he untangles my pawns here, then yeah, let's do it like this. If he untangles my pawns here, then I'll just be a pawn up. Okay, so knight takes, pawn takes, that'll shield these two guys. Knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. Yeah, we'll just get into this endgame. Well, sorry for going into an endgame, but I think it's the correct thing to do here. If he steps forward, I'll go back after these pawns, yeah. So he steps back. So can I ever make any progress here? Probably not. Here, let's push some pawns forward. So it's 3-on-2 on this side of the board. 3 versus 2. But they're a hobbled majority, so it's difficult to do much with them. I don't think Chess Kudos is done so great here. How about if I just attack that pawn? Oh, I guess it'd be a trade. But he goes back to defend anyway. Okay, let's push these pawns forward. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm trying to provoke him to push a pawn here. He pushes that one. Okay, we'll drop back. Okay, so he's defended this pawn. Let's see what we can do over here. You win in 90 seconds. What is that? 85. Oh, does that mean he dropped out? Okay, he disconnected probably. Maybe he had network problems. Yeah, he can't Yeah, maybe it comes out the same. Maybe it's still a draw. Because of that, yeah. So I can go here. So he got his pawn back at the end of all that. And we'll just run him out of moves now. I have the outside passer. The advantage in the endgame. I don't know if it's enough of an advantage to win, but we'll see. Anyway, I feel like I ought to win just because of the way he played. He played so unambitiously with the Nimzo is a good fighting defense when it's played well. He resigned. Well, that was probably an undeserved win, but yeah, no draws and go. Very rare. You can have a G go, right? What is that? There's the 3-ko draw, and then there's the let's get another game here. Well, I don't have too many draws, but it's a challenge, you know, in chess when you're losing to fight for a draw. It makes it interesting. It can be one of the fun things about it. Just got to approach it with the right spirit. So we have this wacky opening. Okay, he's piling up on this pawn. Let's defend it for the moment. I think I might push. Yeah, I'll definitely push. Where's that knight going? And then I can block his bishop on this diagonal. And I can go here, 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 here. Yeah, so let's threaten C5 or C4. Threaten C4, which wins the bishop. Or we can just take his knight. Okay. Well, I got a score there. Quick one. Try again. So my rating has been increasing thanks to a couple of blue light was my mind. Okay, another wacky opening. Why do they do that? Why, oh why? I'm just going to play knight f6. Get castled. And now take here. Last time I had a weakness there. I had a similar position. Decided I didn't like it so much, so let's just trade off that d pawn. Leaves me with a solid c6 pawn. So now I can play e4, e5 rather. Let's go ahead and do that. Opens up a line for this bishop. I'll put my rook behind it, maybe push on again. Well, even without putting the rook behind it, I could just push on to e4. Pawn takes, knight takes. Well, now I need the rook. I'm getting a little cool. I'm going to put on my jacket here. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. A3 he played. What the heck? What is A3 about? No, stops my bishop from coming there. Okay, I wanted to play e4. Does that seem like a reasonable thing to do? No, because my bishop will be hanging when he takes. So let's save the bishop first. Now I can play e4, I guess. Hits the knight, hits the pawn. He takes, I take. This is kind of pinned. Is he stopping it? He is stopping it. Okay, we'll do something else here. Looking at this weakness on D3 as well. I want to bring my bishop out to f5, pile up on d3 again, threaten e4 again, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think I can do it now. So I wanted to defend the b pawn in advance. So I can do it now. Should I? He can push. Well, I can push too. So he didn't. He just took. It's a little tricky. I guess I have to, if he trades queens, I have to take with the bishop. Or do I? I could take this. I was thinking the b pawn was loose, but his bishop is in the way too. I am hitting the c pawn. Happy New Year, Blade Master. Welcome to 2020. Queen there, hitting my rook. Okay, well, let's pile up on that e-pawn. Defend my rook. Now what to do? I think I need to push these pawns forward here. If I play b6 and he plays c5, I guess I can take it. So he's put his rook over on the d file. I was thinking maybe just piling up on his c pawn. It's isolated and it's on a light square, so not so easy for him to defend. So he goes there, yeah. I don't have a great answer to that, do I? So he can double now. I guess I should stop him from doubling. The doubling of rooks would be uncomfortable for me. And see if he comes back with the pawn or the rook. He chose to come back with the rook. It's interesting. Okay, so I need to give myself a little bit of room on the back rank. So if I put my queen here, he plays the check, I can take it. It's not a complete solution because he can still keep his queen on this diagonal. I have to be careful. But if I open up this one, yeah, that was the other way. The other one to worry about. So if I put my bishop here, queen takes, rook takes. Rook takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes. I don't know. He has the check. I can take the rook. Oh, I miscalculated. He can just take it. He can just take it. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that, blue light. Let's get another game here. Well, I was going pretty good. Going pretty good till I played that. Just miscounted. That was a very simple miscalculation. Tornfolk. Okay, Mr. Tornfolk. Hey, we're getting a normal opening. E4, E5. Rui Lopez, Italian game. The Rui, awesome. Got a main line so far. Yeah, castles. And this is where I play bishop to c5, my little wrinkled neo-Archangelsk variation. Not like I invented it, but I like to play it. Okay, let's just get castled here. He is playing some slow moves, but I do have to watch out for the pin on the knight if he moves the d-pawn. So let's go ahead and stop that. Now what? There's bishop to e6. There's bishop to b7. A knight here is possible too. Let's try a little knight maneuver. Drop the bishop back so I don't get forked here. b4 was a threat. Now he goes there. Okay. So now I can drop the knight into c5. He can kick it with c4. He can kick it with b3. Okay, we're going to pile up on that e-pawn, I guess. So now I can go with the knight to c4 and he can't kick it anymore. He can play his knight out. See, so if I take and he takes, That's still adequately defended, but I could put the bishop here. Now I'm attacking it 3 times, and he's defending it twice. Let's see if I can keep my counting straight this game. Yeah, so he pushes forward, but now I have some nice dark squares to play with, right? Let's start by getting my knight to e5 here. So he takes, I'll take with the pawn. Maybe that's not so great. Still, I don't see anything else here. So I guess I will do it. I can bring my queen out to f6 now. Maybe I need to bring this bishop around. Queen f6, rook d8, bishop c8, and out on this side. Keep him honest on the f-pawn there. So he's bringing his light squared bishop around. Makes sense. I could also consider c6 here. So he just blocks it in like that. But there's a tactical problem there maybe. Let's see if he spots it. He has rook here. He did. He defended. He defended there. Okay, let's prevent rook to c6, or at least reduce its impact. And pin the pin the g-pawn. Okay, steps aside. So take here. Not possible. Don't know. So it goes there. So that is that asking for trouble? If I do this, so he can bring his rook over. I guess that's what he's saying. Okay, let's rearrange the pieces a bit. So now I've got three attackers on that. And now his bishop is running short of squares, right? True, true. He can win the exchange there. But if I get the bishop, isn't that worth it? Oh, the bishop goes there. His rook is short of squares. That's funny. I don't think he can take my rook. All right, he does go there. His rook still has no squares, so I can still keep my rook there. Funny. A funny situation. But I can't play h4 because then he has a square for his rook. h4, bishop takes, pawn takes, or h4, rook up, rook takes. I could play h4 just to just to resolve the situation there. Complicated situation. How about queen to h4? Where does his rook go then? He defends the rook with the queen or the king. Yeah, he's having trouble figuring out a move. I could also just back off. I could retreat the queen and retreat the rook. Get out of trouble that way. Okay, so he's coming around the other side. So if I go here, he's going to bring his king up. If I go here, he takes, I take, he takes. He wins a pawn. If I put my rook over here, okay. I'm lifting, I'm pushing the pawn forward. He takes my rook. His rook is still trapped. And maybe I can push all the way forward to... I see. He wants to push this pawn. Okay, let's unpin the c-pawn. Take a break from my activity over here and unpin the c-pawn. He wanted to push the d-pawn forward to take advantage of this loose rook on the back rank. So now the queen comes in. Could just trade. If I just trade, then I lose this guy. If I push forward, I guess I need my king. So he can trade. Or I can push, okay. So that, now the idea is if I take, he takes the bishop, huh? guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. Could not find it. Looks like he's winning a piece here. If we look at this on the board, let's see, if I take, he goes here. Do I have anything in this position? Yep. And he's also threatening this anyway. Okay, well, that was a good game. He played well. Let's see who's challenging me here. Yuan, no, we already played once. One game per session, that's all I do. Sicilian. Attaccante. The C3 Sicilian. Oh, like this. You attack the e-pawn. This is one way to play it anyway. You attack the e-pawn while you can't defend it with a knight. Dragging that pawn forward. Then you go set about undermining it. Undermining the center, the strong center that you pushed forward. I think you can actually just defend the knight if you want to. Leads to a ram structure if he takes that knight. Or if I take his knight, then he's got the hanging pawns. If he takes with a pawn. If he takes with a bishop, then he'll have the isolated pawn. I think I like that. Let's do that. One way or another. We'll get something interesting. I was thinking the fianchettoed bishop here looked good. Then bring my knight in. So the knight, yeah, I guess it comes over to f6. And he has that classic hanging pawn thing. So I need to defend the bishop so that my b pawn is not pinned. Then let's get the knight out of the way. And here we go. So what to do here? Usually you just apply pressure to these pawns. Yeah, let's start by stopping the pin. I don't want that knight pinned. I want to be able to lift up my queen and bring the rooks over to the center. So the queen here will defend the bishop, and then I can put the rooks on the C and the D files so they're aimed at those hanging pawns. So now I could take the knight and take here if this bishop were out of the way. I'm not sure if that's a good square for the bishop or not, but just wanted to put it somewhere. It does control c1. So he dropped back to defend this pawn. So he's being alert. I cannot yet put my knight here on e4. He's got it covered with the rook and the bishop. I can attack the c pawn though. This pressure on those hanging pawns can be annoying, but the pawns give white dynamic possibilities too. Always threatening these breaks with d5 and c5. So he went back there to defend. So what's the state of this now? It's defended by bishop and knight. Now I can put my knight on e4. So he just drops his bishop all the way back. Let's bring this knight around here to harass his knight. Okay, so now I can drop the bishop here to attack here. Let's see how he defends. Yeah, so he pushes forward. That's the classic response. Guess I should trade first. Avoid pawn damage here on the queen side. King side, rather. And I think I just win this pawn. Unless there's a trick. So let's see. Bishop takes, queen takes. Then he plays the check. I step aside with the king. And he trades queens and grabs my rook. Yeah, so actually that's a poison pawn. I can't take it. At least not immediately. So if I do this, I can take it. Tricky, tricky, tricky. So now if I take with the queen and he plays the check, I move my king up. He has another check on this diagonal I can block here. I think I can take it now. Maybe he wins the f-pawn. But that passed pawn was getting dangerous, so I had to deal with it. And I will have... majority over here on the... Oh, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? You can take there. Oh, wow. Okay, so I still couldn't do it. Oh, I have to resign first. Sorry about that. That was funny. Okay, e4. Ah, Sicilian from the other side. I'll say hello to the lawnmowers outside. Okay, what is this? This is a, he's allowing a Maroczy bind here, okay. Kind of like a dragon, looks like. Let's defend. Defend that knight. So yeah, this is a classical Maroczy bind. Let's see how he plays it. He kicks the knight. Okay. So that creates a weakness here. And a square here I can maybe take advantage of. Let's see. Can I go to b5 or should I drop back to b3? b5 is really threatening to take that pawn. Let's see how he defends it. Sometimes black can give up that pawn, I think, and have some kind of compensation, but I don't see it in this case. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like I've got active pieces, and he's a bit lagging in development. He made a lot of pawn moves. And hello, BK doll, B kill doll, B kill doll. Yeah, so he's just giving it up. So if I take it, can he harass that? Well, I'm going to take with check. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. That one's not necessarily good because he can put the rook on b8 and go after my b pawn, but it was tempting. The knight comes back here to c5, hitting the bishop. Oh, he didn't even take that. So he went here. So this was my idea. Back with the knight to c5. And this is hanging. This looks like a disaster for black. Okay. That's a solution, right? Let's just trade. And then we'll get castled here. Looks like a pretty good knight here. And if he trades off my knight, I'll take back with a pawn. I'll have a good passed pawn there. So he can push this pawn forward and grab my b pawn. I guess I'll do it this way. Okay, so if I play f4 here, kicking the bishop, and then follow that up with d5 and e5 and d6. So now e5 would lose this pawn. See, I want to get my queen out here somehow. That's no good. Let's see. If I were to move this bishop with tempo, then I could take this pawn with check. I don't see any good tempo moves. Okay, let's just activate my rook. And what to do here? It's opposite colored bishops. That may be a problem. Okay, I'll step my king out of the way of that potential discovery on that diagonal. Bring my queen to defend the d pawn so I can push my e pawn forward and try and make progress like that. I've got a plan now. So it looks dangerous to me. Okay, he's looking at this diagonal, so this pawn is pinned. Let's see. I want to look at the d pawn here, and I want to push my e pawn forward. Okay, he doesn't like that. Yeah, how about if I stay on this diagonal for a moment? I might just sack the exchange here. Okay, so he's stopping me from pushing the d pawn forward. That's true. I'm going to double rooks here. My idea for sacking the exchange is doubling rooks and playing rook to c7. Bishop takes, rook takes, and the rook on the 7th should be pretty strong, and the queen on the dark squares. Without his dark squared bishop, my queen on the dark square should be strong. So it looks like he wants to stop that. Now I can check. And I could harass his rook like this. Maybe I can just brute force those pawns through now. The way he played it. Oh, wow, is that really working? I mean, I do have a potential back rank issue, but so it doesn't go with check. Okay. So my rook is hanging. Yeah, let's put it somewhere where it's protected. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just a pawn up and opposite colored bishops. I thought I was better. That was a pretty clever tactic. Exploiting the back rank weakness. But I can still push that pawn at least one step further. Okay, he's piling up on it, so I guess I better push it the rest of the way there. And I'm gonna give my king a little lift there. Then a rook c8 to c1 to c8. Looks like it should finish it. Optimistically speaking. Okay, so I can take that. I guess I will. What to do here? He ran away with his king, so I wouldn't have those checks. Okay, so now the rook here. Threatening rook c8. And queening, or winning a piece anyway. Stopping bishop to c7, which was a bit of a threat. So rook here, queen moves. I queen, takes with the bishop, I take back. It looks like this stays protected. I guess I'm just a piece up then. And we still have an extra pawn on the queen side. So he takes the bishop. Okay, gives up the exchange. For what? so we can get in bishop c7. Yeah, okay, let's defend here. So I think I'm okay. It's threatening to come in here. So let's defend that second rank here. And I can just put my rook here, right? Oh, he takes. Takes. Didn't see that for some reason. That's pretty awful. Okay, well, I gotta move. Still up the exchange and a pawn, but it's getting annoying that he's still alive. Why is he still alive? Homeschool, thank you for the follow. Just gonna bring the bishop in here with a check. I could stop that. Oh, he timed out. Okay, so finally won one. There, that's nice to get a win. And hey, Cobra, sure, we can play a game. Let's go with the English. Cobra is Alex. He's not moving, though. Hello? Wake up, wake up. The clocks aren't moving either. Is there a problem with the... I don't know. Yeah, I guess my connection is okay. Let's just play another random one then. I don't mind playing a game, Alex, but you gotta respond. C4. QPAHTA3EP38. Whoever you are. Do we believe that's a real person? Of course, if it was a computer, it'd have a better rating, so it's probably... I don't know what it is. So what is this? So yeah, I'll try the Botvinnik setup here. Just clamping down on d5. You can maybe play it anyway. It's got a lot of pieces aimed at the d5 square and a pawn. Another piece, yeah, just piling up there. Now this bishop is loose, so if I ever get to move this pawn with tempo, he will have to watch out for that. But what is Black's plan? He does want to play d5. Okay, let's take. Opening things up before he castled. It's a bit risky. Do I take with the pawn or the knight? Hey Talon, how you doing? And thanks for the follow. Somebody, what was that? Yeah, Talon, thanks for the follow. So that knight is kind of pinned there. If he takes here, but not really. It's not much of a pin. Not that much of a pin. Can I do something clever here? We'll see. See if I can get away with something. It's kind of tied down here, so he doesn't have any great moves. And I was thinking I could put the bishop here and the knight here, maybe something like that. Maybe it's a bad idea because he just has to unpin, and then this bishop is hanging, or not hanging, but it means that I'm giving it up. So he covered this square, but not this one. So I could come in here. A little bit of fancy maneuvering here. Does this actually work? Let's see, he takes the bishop. I take the bishop. He takes here with check, I take back. But then I'm forking two pieces. Maybe it's okay. So he just moved his bishop. Yeah, I don't know if that was not well considered. And now this is no longer... well, still, if he takes here, I can take there. And I got my knight around to an interesting square. Now his bishop is defended, so let's challenge the other bishop on this diagonal. This is kind of a funny game. I don't know. Don't know that my play was all that correct, but interesting. Yeah, so he blocks that way. What to do with my bishop now? I could play bishop d6, but he just moves the rook, and then my bishop has no squares. I could drop the bishop back here, and then he takes it, I guess. So, what to do? He's going to drop a knight in here, looks like. Well, looks like that's a good square for my knight, so why not go for that? I can still put a piece on d6 for what it's worth. Yeah, I want to get away from that pin. Definitely. And then he gets his knight there. So it's looking at these squares and these squares. Okay, queen out over here. Oh, it runs into a fork. That was dumb. Oh, man. I guess I can survive the fork by playing queen to g5. Maybe. Can I survive this? Because his queen is loose here. I'll pretend like I meant to do this. Having one of those days when you can't win a game. Or are you talking about me? Yeah, that's a big loss. Talking about yourself? Well, it happens to all of us. Sometimes you just got to take a break for a while. Okay, back to e4. Simska. What you doing, Simska? Well, let's play the Panov-Botvinnik attack against his Caro-Kann. Okay, looks normal so far. Yeah. Okay, why don't I bring the bishop out? Let him double my pawns over here if he wants. I'm going to get castled. I was wondering if it was possible to fianchetto the bishop there. That's why I was pausing at that particular point, thinking about g3 and bishop g2, but just loses this pawn, and I don't see. Well, maybe I can round it up, but then I'm left with an isolated pawn. It didn't look that great. Okay, let's ask him what he's going to do with his bishop there. He is going to put it back. Well, it seems like he gave me a few moves of development here. Let's see if I can do something with them. That's loose, huh? Okay, yeah, I want to defend that pawn. Although maybe he can take here first and then take that pawn. I think he can. Oh no, when I take back the queen defense. Still okay, I guess. Okay, so he brought his bishop there. So if I take, and he takes my bishop, I take back. I mean, he takes my knight with the bishop, I take back. He takes here. The knight I can take back, and then he gets a pawn there. So boom, boom, or boom, 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 boom. Then I have time to move my knight away or decide what to do. Yeah, I'll start with the exchange here. So he takes with the knight. Then I can take here. That's a forcing move because it attacks two pieces. Then I could take again, right? Maybe I helped his development too much, but I did win a pawn. It's a pawn after all. So just lift my queen up and bring a rook over. I could beat you at blitz while eating breakfast and walking my dog. Yeah, so maybe I'll play bishop to g4 and try and attack that h-pawn there. Oh, looks like he has similar ideas. He's attacking my h-pawn and picking on my poor knight too. And I'm not a pawn up. I thought I was winning a pawn, but that was just all I did was dissolve the center. Yeah, so he's going to pile up there. I guess I need to pile up as well. So this could turn into a whole lot of nothing, I guess. Could just all dissolve. I went that way with the queen. Okay. So maybe after I take, he will have this pawn here as a victim. Let's go for a counterattacking move here. So if he takes my knight, I have to take with the pawn, and then he can grab the a-pawn. But then I can take his knight. He takes back with a pawn. Yeah. So he does that first. So let's just let's bring a rook out. Now his knight is hanging if he loses the bishop here, so he won't have time to grab a pawn here. And And it's kind of forcing. I mean, oh, no, I'm not threatening much here, am I? He didn't really have to move it. Yeah, it's kind of annoying the way his pieces are clustered around. Let's bring the bishop back. Maybe I can threaten his queen. So knight takes knight, hits the queen, and he hits my queen. So I take the knight, he takes my queen, I take his queen. He takes my rook, I take his rook. And then he takes the knight back. So it's just like a whole lot of nothing. Maybe I can throw in a check, though. Yeah, so I throw in the check first. The king moves. And I take the queen. That's the way you get out of these things. And I take his queen. His rook is hanging. And I've got an extra piece. How annoying. Let's see, yeah, if he takes here, I'll take back. Well, I'll still have that extra piece, but it'll be 2 pieces for a rook. It's amazing how you play so good one day and this miss mate and won the next. Yeah, it just comes and goes, I guess. Oh, well, that's better for me. I think taking the rook was better for him. See, because I know I've got a rook in 3 pieces and he has a rook in 2 pieces, and he still has the famous hanging bishop, which I can force a trade of. And it's just 1 pawn for the piece, so not enough. Not enough. Unless he somehow traps my knight. But the knight, where does the knight go? Yeah, I think he traps my knight, yeah. Goes there. Does that still work okay? I hit my bishop. Can I move the bishop with check? Not so easily. Here, let's just drop back here where the bishop is defended. And he saves the pawn, but then I get to save my knight. That was a good deal for me. I think my knight was just dead. Maybe he didn't notice it was trapped. Yeah, he's going after the bishop, or the pawn. That's the best way to do this. I set up mate in one. our Blade Master did, yeah. Yeah, you know, that's something. So where can I go with that knight? And he's just going to take there. Maybe I'll grab this pawn. Gotta move more quickly here. His rook is in danger of getting trapped, actually. But I only have 13 seconds left. I should be able to do it with the increment, but we will see. Yeah. So if I take that and then attack the rook, rook takes, pawn takes. No time to calculate. He can go there. That's so annoying. Lack of time. Yeah, I can't even take that pawn because his rook goes there. The trouble with having to move instantly. Okay, so now my pieces are more coordinated than they were. He grabs another pawn. That sucks. They're making noise outside again. Okay, plays there. Shall I pick up another pawn? I don't want to lose this one after after all that trouble I went through. I really had a win there. Okay, let's grab that pawn. I think this will be a draw. I think it's a draw now. Unless he gives me his rook. Oh, he's not really giving me his rook, I guess. Yeah, he can run away. So how do I win that last pawn? That way. Okay, there we go. He didn't want to draw. I offered to draw, but he didn't want it. Can play for 50 moves without making any progress, I guess. Okay, we got our draw. Let's see, what time is it? 11:59. Let's play one more game. See if I can finish on a positive note. Time pressure. Yeah, I lost that game when I was worried about time. I had a pretty good position. Here, let's play a French. Majda. Ah, the advanced variation. Sigh. Oh, it was a sigh for time pressure. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Rapid. Mr. Rapid. 350. Is that like 960, but with fewer possibilities? What to do? Just open up the center. He didn't play the normal bishop d3 move, so I'm a little bit confused about what to play here. He looks a little confused too. He goes that way. Okay, so I'm going to take here then. And he goes there. Weird. A weird way to play, but maybe doable. So I'll take here then. And I can take there and his queen will come out. If his queen comes out, I get a nice skewer on that diagonal, right? So it looks like he's not going for that. I guess I will just develop and castle. He really believes in moving quickly, doesn't he? So he never took this pawn. I mean, it's a good central pawn. Why don't I keep it? Why not keep it? If he doesn't want it, I will keep it. The poor pawn was feeling neglected, you know. He's going to go here and harass my rook. So I'm going to go here with the rook, or here maybe, someplace. So is he ever going to slow down? Am I going to slow down? These are the questions. Maybe knight to e4 would be nice to get rid of some of these annoying pieces around my king. He just goes back, okay? So now knight to g4 is possible to harass the bishop, but he's probably going to put the bishop on that square. Let's get my bishop off the back rank here. Yeah, I wonder if pushing the pawns will allow me to trap that bishop. What do you think? Is that possible? Knight there. Yeah, that was the thing. He could have gone there already. I'm okay with that. I decided that's okay. Yeah, I'll take that one. So now I have this great passed pawn. And a pretty nice looking bishop here too. The bishop can go here to here. I don't see his attack going anywhere on the king side. He can do that. Let's trade off that bishop though. Just try and win with those central passed pawns that he gave me in the very beginning of the game. He gave that to me from the beginning. Okay, I don't want to give up this pawn here. But I think I can play that then. Oh, maybe I could have just brought my queen over too. Oh, but that would have dropped this guy. Taken. I'm taking that. Now I can come here. But that's not such a big deal, is it? Pin. So if I go here, can't I win that pawn? Queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, rook takes. It can go there. Okay. But there's a mate. There's a mate over here. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. All right. Well, that was a nice way. I was hoping to end my session on a good note. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember to follow me if you want notifications, and also check out my YouTube channels, Jim's Chess Channel and Jim Plays Go. So here, let's take a moment and see if we can. Yeah, I might have had some better moves earlier. Knight h6. Don't know about that one. Anyway, let's see if we can find someone to raid here. How do I get home? Not that one. This one. Back to Twitch. Okay, back to Twitch. Let's see. Following categories. Chess. Let's see who's streaming here. We got Ganik. Somebody. Mannered Monkey. King's Bishop. Let's follow King's Bishop. He's playing USCF Online 10-minute Blitz tournament. And hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will see you next time. And we are ready for the raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, see you all later.